Regrets happen. However, when it's tied to hundreds of thousands of dollars, it tends to amplify it a little bit more. So we're exploring today the biggest regrets first-time homebuyers have been seeing in this market. Hi, welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman, where we love to discuss Washington, D.C., business, real estate, all that good stuff. My name is John Coleman. I'm a real estate agent here in Washington, D.C. with the Jason Martin Group. If there's one thing you won't regret today, it's going to be clicking that like button below to let me know that you're here. If this information really resonates with you, then I'd hit the subscribe button while you're down there, because then you'll get alerted each week when I release new videos. Earlier this year, Bankrate surveyed a number of first-time homebuyers to see how the process went for them and how they were feeling after their purchase. The results were pretty startling, with almost 2/3 of folks saying that they regretted the purchase, and they shared why. The caveat, it felt like the sample size of this survey was a little small for my liking, but I think the takeaways are worth talking about. The reality is this video kind of sucks to make because I'm a real estate agent, and the last thing you ever want to hear is someone really regretting the decision that they made. However, everything is a learning opportunity. And what I found is some of the things that they talk about are opportunities for you to do better when you go through your process. All right, let's talk regrets. First on the list is mortgage rates. I get it. We all want to make sure we got the best deal, and you should. Here's what you can control. Before and after you go under contract, you can actually compare rates from one lender to another to make sure that in real time, you are getting the best rate. And for more information about finding a good lender partner, I got a video for that. Of course, go check that out. It'll save you some money. And if you do all that, you compare lenders, well, that's the best you can do. That's going to be the rates in real time and how you do it. If the rates drop or explode after that, well, that's out of your control. If it drops crazy, then you can go and refinance. That's an option that you have. So the tip here is do your homework on the front end. Get the best rate in real time. You can't control what happens in the future, but in real time, you can make sure that you got the best possible rate. Second is people didn't like the size of the home. Funny enough, 9% of people said that it was too small, and 7% of people said that the place was too big. Sounds like Goldilocks was hot on the buying trail this year, and that was a really bad joke, I'm aware. In the big city like DC, the truth is I don't often get too many people complaining about having too much space, but I guess it could happen. What I'm talking about more with buyers is that if you feel a place is too small on the onset of the first visit, then I would think strong about that. As you get in there, collect stuff, get used to the space, it often only starts to feel smaller. So if possible, I'd aim to give yourself a little bit more room for longevity of being in the property. Third is location. I mean, the 3 L's of real estate is location, 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 right? It's really a measure twice and cut once scenario for me. I recommend researching commutes on the front end, figuring out what restaurants there are, and walking the neighborhood at different times of the day to get a better idea of what it looks like for you to live there. If time permits, I recommend doing a little bit of brunch crawling. Check out the hood, see what's going on, and see where you're gonna hang out. That's how you can really get acclimated to the community the best possible way. Fourth is maintenance and other costs that are too high. There's no faster way to stress someone out by making them spend a bunch more money after they spent all of theirs on a home. Your first line of defense is to understand the potential costs coming up for your home, and the best way to do that is with your home inspector. There are average lifespans of appliances, fixtures, roofs, all of that stuff. Understanding where those are in the life cycle and how much it costs to replace them is going to be good for you in a planning perspective. That's if it doesn't completely terrify you by the end of the home inspection, but that's a different story for a different day. I can't overstate the importance of your inspector because they're essentially a doctor to your home, and they are giving you a thorough examination to better understand the sense of what you can expect of the health of the home. The other thing we recommend is setting aside 1 to 3% of your home's value each year to help create a little bit of like a slush fund. This allows you to be a whole lot less stressed out when the inevitable thing happens and something pops up that you need to spend money on. And buying a place and not having some extra funds from when you first step in the door, that can put you in a bad spot. So I would have a little bit extra money and not put all of the money towards the house and keep a little bit for yourself in the event that something happens. Fifth is people feel like they've spent too much. especially in this market. I get it. Like, there's been bidding wars, people have been acting out of the norm and pushing prices way up, and that's not very comfortable. If it makes you feel any better, both times I purchased my house, I thought I overpaid for it. A year or two later, I definitely did not feel that way, so it's a pretty natural feeling to second guess what you spend on the place once you're in there. My tip here is to do your research on the front end. Look at the comparable sales of any house and that you're going to be offering on, and understand what other places have sold to help you justify what you're offering on this place. If you're getting a good deal, it's good to know that. If you're paying a premium, and that happens in a seller's market in this area, and prices are getting pushed up, it's good to know that too. And sometimes it's okay to pay a premium in order to get into a house. But you have to be good and knowledgeable about that decision when you make it. 6 is, you went over budget. Well, this is the cardinal sin. You worked hard to set your budget. You should probably stick to it. Be cool with it. It's one of those things. You can spend a touch more if you really want a place and it really checks all the boxes. But if you're thinking about just throwing the budget out the window, well, that's a whole different category of crazy, and I don't think it's something that you're gonna end up being happy with. So find your budget, and as painful as it is, stick with it. Sometimes a house is gonna go above what you're willing to pay for it, and you've gotta be okay with that. It just wasn't meant to be that house at that time. So a lot of this video has to be doing with setting the right team up around you, getting a good lender, getting a good agent, a good home inspector you trust to do the best for you. Having full conversations of all the pros and cons of this stuff on the front end can help you save so much time and heartaches on the back end. This is a huge decision in your life, and the goal is to make you feel as comfortable as possible. And the only way we can do that is to educate you and for you to educate yourself. So take all of this stuff, especially on the front of your search, super serious. All right, what did I miss? What kind of crazy stories do you have? If you have crazy stories, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And if you want to learn more about the process and ways to avoid these kind of pitfalls, go ahead and reach out. I'd be happy to talk with you about your personal search and what we can do to make sure it's as smooth as possible so you don't have these regrets at the end of the day. All right, well, thanks again for stopping by another Coffee with Coleman. Peace.